Especially with that A.
Oh my goodness. My goodness. Hello, everyone. Welcome to LMG Live, the gaming and media podcast from lmgamers.net, a community of over 700 adult players. Tonight, we're giving you the hottest information on the latest games. So boot up, log in, and enjoy the show. I'm your host, Adam 12, with our co-host, King Dawes. We got Sectator Gaming, just Sectator to us, and Poop Shizzle. Now tonight, if you noticed, hold on 1 second, sorry about that. There we go, much better. Tonight, if you noticed, we've got the Flamin' Chode here. A very special guest. I don't know if you guys remember him from all the other podcasts we've done, except for the first season was the Solid Scorpion Z, but he's with us tonight.
All right.
He's going to be stopping in and give us all the skinny on the charity drive called Extra Life, the charity drive for kids, 24-hour streaming thing coming up on, what is it, Chode? November 3rd?
November 3rd. Yes, sir. That's the official date for the kids.
All right, everyone. This week, Bethesda releases Fallout 76 PvP details. We got Red Dead Redemption just around the corner. Microsoft Game Pass is coming to PC, they announced today. There's a television console for all you old asses like me, coming 2020, I believe. And Black Ops 4 is just going damn crazy out there. So there we go. We have all that crazy crap going on. Sectator, what you got for us tonight?
What's up, guys? So we're going to start with Fortnite. So 6.20 went live today with, of course, further details on the Halloween theme. So it's called Fort Nightmares. There's basically the Cube Strikes Back is kind of the promo that they're launching. So while you're playing Battle Royale and you got a bunch of other crap going on, you've got different cube fragments that are spawning monsters, little tiny zombies, different types of like brutes and grunts and all them. As you kill them, you get shield rewards, anywhere from 3 to plus 20 shield. And then it's kind of like a solo mini game while you're playing a battle royale mode, as if Fortnite wasn't hard enough. They also added a limited time weapon for this mode. It does 40 damage per shot, and then it does times 4 against fiends. So anything the cube spawns, it does an additional times 4 damage. So it does 160 damage to those fiends. And then a new weapon is launched as well. It's called the 6-shooter. My question is, do you guys think that Fortnite purposely does these pop culture things? Because there's another game that's launching right around the corner, Red Dead Redemption 2. They did the Keanu Reeves skin right around the time. What's that movie called that he was really big in? John Wick.
John Wick.
So they've had a couple other hidden pop culture references. But it does a decent amount of damage, 34, 40, 36, and 38 damage, depending on the rarity. It's found all over the place. They also changed the rocket launcher to a pumpkin launcher. So do you guys think this is on purpose? Do you guys think that they time these with the launches to try and get more skin sales or to try and get a little bit more hype?
Absolutely.
It's all about the money, dude. Of course it is.
All about that money.
They did the Thanos thing for the Infinity War release.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Ride that hype wave.
Is the reason the number one battle royale?
I mean, how much public visibility does this game have right now? For it to hit those pop cultures would be stupid if they didn't.
I think Ninja tweeted a tweet, "Love the new update," and it had 15,000 retweets. I'm sure it got multiple millions of views. So him alone is just kind of, pushing that Fortnite train. And then they also did another minor update. They increased the hand cannon, so now it's actually a viable medium to long range. So that's all the Fortnite news. So
did they do pumpkins? They did pumpkins last year, right? On the rocket launchers.
It's kind of their staple thing right now.
Yeah,
they got the couple things they go back to. They released the skeleton skins 2 weeks ago.
Didn't Skull Trooper come out and everybody was all upset about it?
They were upset about it because they're like, it's supposed to be rare, but they still kind of do. They still kind of do their own thing because you can get a purple variation if you have the original one. So it's still got that uniqueness. But yeah. So all good news for Fortnite. However, the other couple games we're going to talk about in Battle Royale, not so much. So PUBG, we will start off on a positive note. So playing along with Red Dead Redemption 2, if you have Amazon Prime, you can get a free Amazon Prime cowboy themed loot crate for PUBG now through November 17th. So if you guys have PUBG still downloaded, you haven't rage quit and uninstalled it like Summit 1G, go ahead and log back in. If you've already linked it for some of the previous crate giveaways, it'll automatically show up in your inventory. So that's kind of like the maybe 1.5 things that we're going to talk about that's positive. PUBG did also just break $100 million in total mobile sales. It's been about 200 days since the game went mobile. So that is positive for PUBG, Bluehole Corp, PUBG Core, whatever you want to call it, Microsoft in general. But the developers are actually still pretty frustrated about it. If you guys didn't know, Fortnite reached $300 million in mobile sales in just 200 days. So nearly tripled it.
It's not exactly fair. I have to say that is not exactly fair because the mobile game for Fortnite transfers over into the console, PC, now PlayStation version of Fortnite. And anything you buy on their Battle Pass, I can go on and play my Battle Pass stuff and get my little thing played on my shitty iPhone and hate every second of it. But I can still at least open chest and wherever and get and perk my little Battle Pass. And you can buy the Battle Pass right there and it transfers over. So it's not the same game. It's not even the same system of use.
Well, I'm kind of glad you brought up the not fair thing because a week before PUBG launched on mobile, China restricted new licenses on games that launched in China in that region. So while PUBG Mobile is allowed to be played and downloaded in that region, they're not allowed to offer in-game purchases in PUBG in China. So if you guys didn't know, the only country in the world that still plays PUBG is China. 33% of their player base is in China. And kind of doing dollars and cents idea for this, America has made the company $24 million in mobile sales through PUBG, and we only make up 11% of the total player base. So if you triple that, that's how much money potentially they've lost out on because China is region locked to not be able to do sales. That's a lot of money, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that the same for China or for Fortnite? Is that across the board on?
Fortnite got in before that cutoff. You guys remember Fortnite came out a couple months before PUBG launched its mobile app, so they got in just in time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just want to clarify something right here. It sounded like I was really defending PUBG. I don't like it either.
Wait a minute.
Sorry. Well, carry on.
You're not the only one. So PUBG servers have crashed. They've been trying to push through weekly updates. People are struggling with latency, having high ping, all that stuff. It's gotten so bad that they said that at some point last week, 60% of the player base wasn't able to log in after their update, and they actually had to bring the servers completely offline. This is a game we're talking about that has been out for over a year, fellas. This is a game that's been out for a long time that still can't keep their servers online.
Well, and how long was it in beta too?
Yeah,
that makes it worse, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I mean, it was at least a year in beta. It felt like.
Yeah, you can't get it together.
Yeah, I think as somebody who started on PUBG, I kind of share your frustration. So when we look at like where they are, PUBG is officially reporting that their average player login base is around 800,000 people. And by comparison, Fortnite in its lowest parts of the day are at 1.5 million players.
Lowest parts of
double at its lowest part.
Wow.
And this has impacted Twitch as well. So all those people that have made their careers on PUBG, look at Ninja, Dr. Disrespect, all of them. PUBG over the last 7 days has dropped under 30,000 concurrent viewers for the first time in the history of PUBG. They were out of the top 10 for most of the week.
Womp.
So, are they like fizzling? Are they any chance for them to bounce back? Or
the adaptations that they're making now, they're getting a lot of pushback because PUBG's always been unique. It's been a realistic shooter. So every time they try to make an adjustment, so they're doing like a Halloween theme thing right now. It's kind of like old-fashioned DayZ. And everyone's like, oh, you're just copying Fortnite. I'm going to go play Fortnite. So they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. But remember, we talked about in the last podcast, that Korean company just invested, $100 million into building an esports infrastructure based around PUBG. Yeah. Right. So it's not like this is a problem that PUBG can really afford to just kind of lose out on. They have to double down and continue to push forward.
Interesting.
So what about like, what do you think that this is a volatile environment? Like all I hear here is about the cheaters and the toxic players now on PUBG. Like it seems to be getting whittled down from what I hear from people that still play it. Getting whittled down to just a base of cheaters and ragers. Like you really get into a toxic level. Like when I hate to say it, like League of Legends and games like that. When the public sort of moves on to other games, what you're left with is this sort of majorly toxic community. Is that kind of what you pick up on at all?
I think the anti-cheating measures have done a lot. They've been banning chunks of people at a time. What saves it right now, if I'm a developer, I'm opening up mod support now, tomorrow, the next week. If you guys look at CSGO and kind of what happened and the evolution of CSGO, we're dropping, we're no longer in the top 10, our esports aren't biting, here's the mod community, and boom, it's back into the top 10. It's still to this day, the game's been up for how long, 10 years? And it's still in the top 10 streamed on Twitch. So I think the moment that they opened it up to people who have half a brain with game development is when they're going to save it. But for now, they're just going to watch Fortnite and Blackout just run away with it.
Yeah.
That's what I would do, but I'm just a humble guy on a podcast. So I know. It's not all good news for Blackout either. So it took off pretty well. It started off pretty strong. We all predicted that. I think in the last podcast we talked about some of the growth and what we think it's going to accomplish. It's currently 4th on Twitch over the last week with 116,000 concurrent viewers. Pushing Fortnite. Fortnite's at 140,000. And as we discussed, PUBG's at 30,000. So it also set a record for digital sales on PC and PS4. So they're not releasing specific numbers yet, but overall digital downloads on launch day, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 broke records in both PC and PS4. Okay. So the question for you, gentlemen, do you think this is due to the Battle Royale game mode, or do you think there's another hidden factor there that we weren't considering?
Zombies.
Zombies, yeah.
Zombies?
I think
I see more people on Twitch playing zombies than the VR portion of it.
Yeah.
I go with that. I have a couple of friends that I know that play it. They say the BR is but they love the zombies.
Yep. What did they like about the BR? I'm curious if it lines up with what I was looking into.
They just said it felt like it wasn't trying to hit the mark. I mean, I can find it's in another Discord, but ultimately they just say it wasn't hitting the mark that, because it almost seemed like some of them were looking for something more like PUBG and what that had to offer, right, but at a more stable environment, and Blackout just wasn't quite where they wanted it to be. And ultimately they said that the zombies are better just because it's more, cooperative nature, and it's a more fun game type for everybody to enjoy, as opposed to Blackout's kind of hit or miss.
I saw a tweet today about from Dr. Disrespect saying that, there was a problem with the loot. There's way too much loot, too much worthless loot laying around.
Yep.
Since they've gone to 20 hertz or 20 frames, whatever it is, 20 hertz, I guess, that there's a lot of there's like a 2/3 delay now on hit counting.
Yeah, it's huge. It's actually one of the things we're going to talk about a little bit.
20 frames?
They dropped the refresh that low?
Yeah.
The server ping refresh dropped from 60 hertz to 20 hertz. So there's literally instances and clips on Twitch and YouTube of somebody running behind a wall, standing still with no bullet damage, and then all the hitbox registering while they're standing behind a wall, and they're dying instantly. And Dr. Disrespect raged on stream about it, because he got popular, or his previous life he was a game developer for, I think it was Call of Duty Ghost Recon. So he knows a little bit of what it takes to do it, but it's due to the population. Treyarch wasn't, I guess, ready for this kind of battle royale.
How could they not?
How can you not?
I think
I don't know.
I really think
they
this
did
is like a
they
Fortnite
did a beta
kind
on
of
it.
thing,
Yeah, they did a beta. I mean, the beta, when it peaked, isn't anywhere near like where they're looking at for numbers right now. So I don't know what dropped, but they're like, oh, we're going to drop the tick rate. And it's really frustrating people. Like that. There's a reason Fortnite's still number one, even though all the top Fortnite players were streaming Blackout for the first 2 days. It's because people are going back to a game that's more polished. It's the same issue that plagued PUBG for the last 6 months.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's so many issues. You can't even get 60 frames per second on a 2018 game.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I hear the multiplayer is pretty nice too, though. Friends I
and
had that play multiplayer love it.
Yeah, they're going to come through, I guess, in next week's patch. There's a huge patch coming. They're going to retune some games or retune some guns, some game modes. They're going to add some stuff to matches and maps so that it seems more balanced. They're also working on server updates, audio improvements. I guess there's a glitch right now in a specific part of the map where you can't even hear an enemy if he's in the room right next to you. So they're going to work on all of that. It just kind of seems like what we played was an alpha back in September. What they released now is a beta. And we're looking for fine tuning and stuff like that. But
so tired of these developers releasing half-baked.
Welcome to modern day gaming.
I hate that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, have you guys done any of the operator missions or seen some of? I mean, who here has the game?
I mean, I just downloaded it before the podcast. I was on vacation. I have not played it yet.
Okay, it's very funny because there are 8 or 10 operators. And each one has a specific intro CG. It's very interesting if you played Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and how they're trying to meld a non-story into the actual setup. Because this is in between Black Ops 2 and Black Ops 3.
Okay.
Is where Black Ops 4 sits. And I was listening to Giant Bomb earlier today. And they were just talking about how it's set up, that there was probably a half-baked single-player set for this game, and they trashed it. And the Blackout was sort of like, I mean, everybody remember Radical Heights? Something like that. They got thrown together super fast with assets and things like that. So
that makes sense.
I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, because if you start playing, it's the cutscenes. I mean, they're beautiful. There's some things that you could see a single player. I would love to see them take it with the operators that they have in it and those types of things. But it could be like anything else. I mean, shit, Destiny's been done 2 or 3 times as it's been scrapped. Those things where they just whacked it and said, okay, hey, we're just going to do multiplayer because we know, for the most part, what do you buy COD for? You play maybe the single player campaign once, and after that, all go into multiplayer, or you buy it and you go right into multiplayer. And one question they did question or pop out, which was interesting, and I'd like to ask you, Sectator, is how do you reiterate it on Blackout in 2019? Do you release a new BR mode, or is this something that will you reiterate on top of this each year, or do you start breaking this out and be only zombies? Only multiplayer, only BR coming from Call of Duty.
So I think what's really unique about Blackout is that the multiplayer maps are incorporated in the Battle Royale map.
Yeah.
So I think what's really interesting, what they could do is kind of take the Fortnite approach where they're just altering the map, even though it stays the same. So as the DLC begins to roll out, as the new maps begin to roll out, they begin incorporating those maybe into the storyline of Battle Royale. And they continue to grow that out. I think Fortnite's seen a lot of success for that, and let's face it, that's what a lot of companies are going to follow now, is that Fortnite model. So I don't think the PUBG model of creating a new map every 3 months is sticking. One, they can't sustain it, and it takes so many developers to run with. I think it's just slightly altering every couple of months for a season pass or whatever it is as the DLC begins to roll out to incorporate those new multiplayer maps. And I think that's fresh enough. If they can do that and somehow begin to throw a story mode in, a lot of people don't remember, but there really wasn't a story mode to Fortnite till like season 3, I think maybe season 2. So 6 months into release, they began building a story mode. So I think if Black Ops can start doing that, then it can remain feasible for a while.
They have a unique opportunity too. They got a really niche market, so they could have, in the Battle Royale mode, for example, they could have like Zombie Island, all the best gears on Zombie Island.
Yep.
Make it like a Nuketown Island kind of thing, just fill it full of zombies and all the best gears there. If you want to go there, good luck, because you get sniped right off of it, or while you're battling zombies or stuff like that. So they can incorporate all that stuff. They do.
There is.
That sounds
Right.
badass.
Yeah, they had new
There you can drop in. Yeah, you can drop into some parts of. Is it Nuketown and one of the diners where it's overrun with zombies?
Yeah.
So and you get the previous zombie mode style weapons.
Okay.
If you decide that you want to drop
Can
in.
get a ray gun. I've seen it.
Right. Yes, you can get a ray gun. So, but that's one of the things. On top of having real life players dropping, you're now fighting NPCs.
Sounds like Gambit.
There you go.
Well, it's
Sounds like a
but there's no
balancing
sleeper. So
Good.
so it is. They've something that they've done. So my biggest thing is like in 2019 when it's the next Call of Duty. Does Sledgehammer do this, or does Infinity Ward or whoever it is? Do they now make a BR and we pay another $60 to play it, or are you paying doing a battle pass or something like that where it's $10 or $15 or something? I don't know. Where do you make your money?
I think the easy answer to that is it depends on where they make their money.
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
skins.
dropping this to 20 hertz, if it crashes the battle royale and nobody wants to play it anymore, then they won't do that.
Cosmetics.
Yeah, it's got to be skins. I mean, you've seen a bunch of different little things happen with like PUBG trying to sell keys and blah 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 blah. But I think one Treyarch being owned by a microtransaction happy company to the point where it's literally ruined their last two AAA releases. To seeing what Fortnite's doing well, I think that's all a formula for microtransactions. And as long as people are dumb enough to keep dropping $20 every 2 weeks for a skin, that's where the money is. That's where it's got to be.
No.
I'm one of those suckers.
No.
I think one thing we haven't talked about, ever not really in a long time with this podcast is that the battle royale mode for Fortnite is questionably kid friendly, and that's one of the big problems that PUBG has. That the parents don't want their kids playing something like that. Maybe
This
Call of
parent
Duty can,
right here.
yeah, and maybe Call of
It's
Duty
his
can get
9-year-old
somewhere and sort of make
The
that.
cell phone if he wants to play it.
It's not really
You want to play
kid
Gears of
friendly.
War, buddy?
Yeah. No.
Everybody knows what Call of Duty is, and Call of Duty set records for digital downloads. So they just got to fix the issues. And I don't know. I think this Call of Duty Battle Royale is going to set the pace for future Battle Royale. That's going to kill off the indie developers and force them to really refocus. But you're competing with companies that, like Treyarch's competing with companies that have 1, 2, 3 room development teams trying to push out content. They have a massive company that's built sustained game models and Black Ops 1, 2, and 3 pushing out new content. So like I said, I think this is just a beta. I think alpha launched in September when it was played. I think this is kind of a beta, and I think beginning of the year they're just testing the waters right now to see what they can get with their server stabilization. That's more than we could say about Battlefield 5 though.
Give me those news because I still haven't bought it yet. So
Battlefield 5 Battle Royale was pushed back again, actually for the first time. But considering the game was supposed to launch October 19th, it got pushed back to November 19th. People were kind of hoping for the Battle Royale mode to launch with the game. I know Adam kind of already hinted at this last week. They're kind of like pay gating the Battle Royale mode to start with. Like you have to get to like max level and pre-order and buy a DLC pack to get the Battle Royale mode. Well, now on top of all that, you're not going to get to play it until probably February of 2019. So do you think that this is like because a third party is developing it, Centurion Game or Criterion Games is developing it? They do have some success. They were one of the ones that helped build out Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Right.
They worked on Battlefront 1 DLC. So they're not a small company, but do you think this is just a third party company getting behind on a deadline due to small manpower?
I think they've sort of like shot themselves in the foot already with the whole DLC thing, making it where you had to go do the pay to play, get the premium package to do the Battle Royale. They've since gone back on that and said, no, everybody gets it now. Because they realized you get it now. If you get the bottom package, you get it now.
Okay.
Yeah, so they changed all that and running back on it. I think they're waiting out Black Ops and just to see.
I know I did it.
What?
But I would love to see how many people went back after that came out and canceled pre-orders.
Yeah.
Because I know I did.
I did as well.
So I was reading, I think it was a Kotaku, and it could have been wrong because Kotaku is not necessarily the greatest source of accurate information, but they had mentioned that it was the lowest model, but it's a pre-order bonus. So you have to pre-order the game in order to unlock the Battle Royale.
Okay.
So while it's not price gated, it's a pre-order bonus. But I'm somebody who doesn't pre-order games. The Division taught me not to pre-order a game. That game wasn't playable for a year and a half. So there's a lot of people out there that are going to be very frustrated, I think, when that game launches if that doesn't change. But do you guys think this is an advantage or a disadvantage for Battlefield 5 Battle Royale? Do you think this is something that's going to put them ahead of the competition because they get to see what their biggest competitors are doing? Or do you think they're kind of they've already stabbed their customers in the foot and now they're stabbing them again and they're pushing it back? Like, do you guys think this puts them at a disadvantage?
I think they need to do this because if they want to compete against Fortnite, they better develop something that's polished, that's refined, and it's fun to play out of the gate. They can't. They've already seen a couple BRs go through this. Oh, well, we got to fix this. Oh, we got to fix this. So now we're dropping this. Oh, now we got to fix. They can't do that if they want it to compete. Because, I mean, technically, there's still a number 2 spot open. If Fortnite's number 1, Blackout's kind of fumbling around right now. There's still room. There's still a slice of that pie that they can get a piece of. And if they don't jump on this opportunity with a polished piece of content, then it's probably not going to go very far.
And they're battle sim too. I mean, they're more PUBG than anything.
Yeah.
And they, and they've already, like I was trying to get to, is that they've already shot themselves in the foot by delaying, by telling people that they got the, could get the battle royale by paying more, all that stuff. And now it really doesn't matter because I think they just tainted the water so much right now. It doesn't matter if they bump it a little while and let it, and grow it a little bit, because it really makes more sense for them to sit back and let this play out and let people forget how they pissed them off.
Yeah. The biggest thing, though, too, by sitting back, you're allowing Black Ops 4 months to get their stuff stable and get set up, too. So if you don't release something that's polished, you're screwed. Because then you're going to be already fighting against Fortnite. Who knows what PUBG will do in the next 4 months. And Blackout with Activision is going to find a way to get their stuff going and working correctly. So, yeah. We'll see.
Cool. That's all Battle Royale news, guys. It's all up to you now. That's all I got.
All right.
King Dawes, what you got for us tonight?
Hey, so all this talk about microtransactions and all that jazz got me really excited because Festival of the Cost is back in Destiny. And if anyone's familiar with D1, Festival of the Lost is Destiny's Halloween event. They do it every year. It was coined Festival of the Cost, because of all the microtransactions tied to it. In D1, you could not get a damn thing from that event without spending real money in the silver system with in-game purchases. So Festival of the Lost came out this year. Everyone was kind of expecting a shit show with the whole microtransaction thing. There's actually more content in it now than ever was. They came out with a whole new game mode, which is the Nightmare Forest, whatever it's called. It's a cool mode. Basically, you take the Infinite Forest on Mercury, and turn the lights off, and then add some spooky guys. And it's an endless event. You can keep going for waves and waves and waves. Currently, Redeem has the highest wave count at 16, which is unreal.
Wow.
I played it and got to 8. It's tough.
Yeah.
You only get 15 minutes to do the event. You go as far as you can into said event. Each room, each map there has a certain amount of enemies on it, and you get progression for killing them. And then you have to kill a mini boss in between. So awesome event so far. The big trophy at the end is an auto rifle. It's called the Horror Story, which is cool gun. If you're familiar with the game, it's a 450 auto rifle with Rampage. So it's a cool gun. It does really good amount of work and good skin on it. So
it drops at 600 light though too, right?
Guaranteed 600. So if you're lacking in any light, doesn't matter what. If you go in at 520 and get that auto rifle,
I saw the trailer today. It sounded like it was making a weird sound, like when it changes clips and stuff like that. Does it have like a scream to it?
That's the Rampage procking. Yeah, it's cool. Okay. It's got a unique animation and everything, and the skin on it's pretty sweet. Big thing was the guaranteed 600 drop. There's not a lot of weapons.
And Masterwork.
Yeah, it's Masterwork 10. So it's.
Is it infusable?
No, you cannot put it into anything. So 600, I tried. And as soon as you grab it, it cannot go into anything. It's just it's more of a trophy gun. There are way better guns in the game for everything else, PvP, PvE. It's just fun to have. I still don't have it. I just haven't really been doing a lot of grinding on that one. So that was the big thing with Festival of the Lost. There's a guaranteed exotic, which is cool. There's a little quest line you do during the beginning of the event. You get the Fighting Lion, which everybody is a little familiar with. You get the catalyst for it for free, which is pretty cool. The only thing about the catalyst is it's a lengthy one to complete. You need to do 1,000 kills, I believe, and 200 bounty completions.
Wow.
So it's not a small grind. And but the Fighting Lion did receive a little bit of love. It's actually a little bit of a nerf. It's brought down to the same damage as other breach loading grenade launchers, but it does once you get damage with it, it gives you increased stability and everything for all your other guns. So it's good. It's a good gun right now. So Festival of the Lost. The cool thing about this, it's actually a 3-week event. It used to only be one. Now it's actually going on for 3 weeks. We're in the second week right now, and in the third week, which is coming Tuesday, we actually get to solve a murder mystery. So.
What?
Yeah, it's third week. Zavala will present you with a murder mystery. Someone in the tower does get murdered during the event, and you have to figure out who did it.
That's
So,
awesome.
do we know anything about this? Is it going to he's just going to start a quest line and then
Hey,
we go
PS,
from
someone
there?
just got murdered. Go figure out who it is.
That's kick-ass. I like that.
And we don't know who it's going to be. Nobody's really. I haven't looked. I've looked around, and nobody's done any data mining to see who gets killed. So it's going to be interesting. Someone in the tower is dead, and we have to find out who
That's
did
awesome.
it.
I'm excited that the Haunted Forest is a roguelike type.
Yeah, it's interesting. This is what people really wanted the Infinite Forest to be. Everyone was really excited for the Infinite Forest because it sounded like a self-generating map, but it turned out just to be a pain in the ass until you can get to the other side of Mercury. So people are asking for this mode to stick around just because it is a really fun mode. It's got some nice jump scares and everything to it. So that's Festival of Lost right now. That's the hot stuff in Destiny.
Excellent.
Any more news on
And that goes till when?
That is going. So next week is the last week. So I believe that goes to the 3rd of November. It's the following Tuesday after this coming one.
Okay.
Any more news on the Black Armory stuff?
So nothing with Black Armory. That is coming out in November. So that would be the next big DLC. That's actually a paid DLC. So if you got the season pass, that will be something that you own. If not, that will be something that you have to buy. As we know right now with the Black Armory stuff, it's coming out with a new level of weapon. You have your basic stuff, exotics, and then black level weapons or black rarity. So also it's bringing back heavy machine guns, which a lot of people are happy about. I myself was a big heavy machine gun user in Destiny 1. It's gonna be cool.
We're getting the Thunderlord.
There are rumors of Thunderlord. There's rumors of Last Word coming out, which I think is more fanboy hype right now because I don't see Bungie bringing that back. But there's rumors of Icebreaker coming back, which is going to completely ruin the game.
Ooh,
and,
wow.
Yeah.
What about Thorn?
The only thing about
anything about Thorn coming?
No Thorns. There's nothing. I think Malfeasance was their homage to Thorn, and that turned out to be a turd. I hate Malfeasance. There's people jazzed about it, but it just doesn't do anything for me. But I think the tough part with Destiny right now is it feels like they're recycling a lot of content, which I'm a big disbeliever in. Great, you're bringing back heavy machine guns, but don't bring back Thunderlord. Like that was a cool gun in year 1, Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Recycling content seems a little lazy to me, even though it's got some nostalgia and fan favoritism to it.
Didn't they already do that whenever they released the Thunderlord? You could have it on Void, Arc, and Solar.
There are 3 different guns. There was a Void heavy machine gun, there was an Arc, and there's Thunderlord, and then there was a Solar one. The only one you can change elements on would be like Hard Light or Borealis or something.
Okay.
Do you think that they're recycling content because they're trying to appease to the casual gamer who may have missed it the first time around, or do you think they're doing it because they're trying to focus their attention other places?
I think it's more of a nostalgia thing. Your hardcore D1 people, when they see a not a BTOD, when they see a Thunderlord coming back, they get excited about it. I know I will definitely be grinding for it if it's a quest item or if it's a drop. That's really what it feels like to me. Is they're trying to bring back some of that old favorite flair and bring some. There's still people that are out there that left Destiny and have not come back, even with all the new Forsaken stuff. And I think them bringing those old carrots back on the stick might bring some people in. Okay. Especially Last Word. If Last Word comes back, you're going to see a lot of people come back in the PvP crowd.
Yeah,
and use that.
Makes sense. What else you got for us tonight?
For Destiny stuff? Well, that's about all I really want to cover with Destiny, the whole microtransaction thing. I did want to make a quick note in the shooter world. If you guys are familiar with the esports league or the group, the organization, 100 Thieves, which is actually it's a big group. Nade Shot, who is a COD pro, started that. He's the CEO of the company. He actually just signed a deal with Drake to become co-owner of 100 Thieves, and that's a big deal for gaming in general, because you're seeing two worlds. When Ninja and Drake played Fortnite together, that kind of started a shift in the gaming industry, and people could feel that throughout the whole gaming industry. It became more mainstream. You see these athletes and musicians and actors all turning out to play video games, which back 10 years ago would have been a pretty lame thing to do. Nobody really came out and said, yeah, I want to game with these guys. But Drake now becoming a co-owner of an organization, I think you're going to start to see big companies, your Sonys and your maybe outside companies that haven't even really had a presence in esports start to see those big investment opportunities.
I think it's interesting that it's 100 Thieves, because I think they had a CEO or owner of an NBA team invest in them earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that's weird about 100 Thieves is they're not really performing at a high level of esports. So you look at teams that are performing high, is like TSM is winning all the Fortnite stuff right now, and you got all these other esports teams. So it's interesting that they're not getting the financial backing, but 100 Thieves it really is a testament to what their vision is for the team. It makes it exciting for esports in general.
Right. It's an important time. I think you're going to start to see big shifts, and once these teams start getting like the Fortnite esports, maybe it's not a Fortnite, but the esports arena that you were talking about, the $100 million investment, that's a sports stadium. I mean, that's something that you go and you watch different esports tournaments, and these companies are going to want to see their advertisements up on the walls of these places, and the gaming industry as a whole is going to start to see a big influx.
Just wait till you see the endorsements coming out. I mean, you're going to have Nike
you're gonna
esports
see,
shoes. You're going to have all kinds of crazy crap.
I think
these esport athletes are going to start to be paid as much as traditional athletes.
Start wearing NASCAR patches.
A viable career. Yeah, you've
got college level. I mean, university teams now for League of Legends. There's a really cool documentary, not to get too into it or sidetrack it, but it's called Work Hard, Play Hard or something like that. It narrates the way that the world looks at America with esports, and how when any of our American esports teams travel overseas, they get mocked by these smaller, worst Korean teams out there are mocking America and the high performing American teams, because it's taboo. No one wants to adjust to the mindset, oh, you just play video games for a living, no big deal. And it's really setting us back. A Korean expert predicted we're 15 years behind the rest of the world with esports.
Korean esport athletes, StarCraft athletes, they're celebrities, absolute celebrities. They have name recognition and people coming to see them paint by the thousands. And like you said, I mean, 15 years seems like a big jump back, but 5 years from now, I guarantee you're going to see esports start to blow up.
Yeah, they got LG, Whirlpool, Samsung, all of them sponsoring esports teams in Korea and China, and we're sitting here.
Rocket Mortgage is a big 100 Thieves supporters. So
are they the ones that have the 100 Thieves have that? Was it Malibu home where they have the trainers? And I know Rocket Mortgage.
FaZe has a big house out in LA. They're one of the big organizations. I think 100 Thieves is out there as well.
That's the Rocket Mortgage made a huge mansion for esports gamers, and they have
you got
trainers and all that, all based off of Rocket Mortgage's input.
Yeah, FaZe, Optic, Cloud9, Team Solo Mid, all of them have mansions. Now 100 Thieves has a mansion, and then there's one that has two, one in New York and one in California. Wow. It's one of the bigger ones out there as well. So it's starting to take off. It's just getting these investors who are brain, if you think about all the people that have the money right now, right? Drake's setting a precedent for the young generation investing in the future of esports. But if you think about Warren Buffett, who's a billionaire that could really change the face of esports, but he's got the opinion, oh, they're just games, they're just nerds. Right. That's not going to last forever. So
I think if you see something like a Jordan brand, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry, but it's still tied closely to a younger crowd. Something like that investment, like a Nike, Adidas, any of these big kind of name brand clothing or entertainment industries, as soon as they start latching on, you're going to see more more organizations pop up, more people going pro, being able to stop what they're doing and be an actual esport athlete. And then the competition is going to rise. It'll be interesting.
We have Colin Cowherd to thank for this. He's the one who started it all.
Mm-hmm.
But this rant, because ESPN was broadcasting, I think it was Heroes of the Storm on ESPN2, and he went on a huge tangent on his podcast saying the day that we broadcast esports is the day I'm no longer employed with ESPN. And then like the next month he was no longer employed with ESPN, and now ESPN2 shows like MOBA competitions all the time on ESPN2. So
nice.
That video went viral. It had like 15 million views in like 3 weeks. So people were like, "What's esports?" Oh, okay.
All right,
thanks,
Keith.
Colin.
Welcome.
Anything else for us tonight?
I'm good. I'm all tapped out.
And that brings us to Mr. The Flamin' Chode.
Hey everybody, thank you very much for allowing me to jump in LMG Live. I appreciate it. So I am making a little special appearance because in a week and a half, on November 3rd, is the 2018 annual Extra Life 24-hour charity stream. So you guys are probably all familiar. Last year we did Extra Life as a community. We did very well. We raised over $5,000 for Children's Miracle Network hospitals, amongst probably half a dozen to a dozen streamers who play games for 24 hours. And I'm just joining you guys today to discuss a little bit about what it is and what we can do as a community to help kids out there, kids and families in need who are being taken care of by Children's Miracle Network hospitals. And I think, if I'm correct, Adam, you worked at one in, was it in Carolina at one point?
No,
or
in
where was
Birmingham,
it at?
Alabama. I worked at the Children's Hospital there for 6 years in the intensive care unit.
Excellent. Ooh. So, but just a quick rundown, if you're not familiar. Extra Life has been going on since 2008. I've participated. This will be my 6th year in participating in Extra Life. And what it is you're probably familiar with Child's Play and a couple other gaming-centric charity events. This is more of a homegrown style charity that was centered around a girl here in the Houston area. I believe her name was Julie Eamon, but everything it can be found at the extralife.org site. And she contacted, actually a couple of people had heard about her story and decided that they were going to send consoles and games. It was a group called Sarcastic Gamer. And they put together some things and sent it into her, but then also saw the other kids within the ICU areas and thought, okay, hey, maybe we can hit up a couple different sponsors or go around to our communities and start getting consoles, games, comics, just things like that to take these kids' minds and families off of having to be in the hospital, dealing with terminal style diseases, dealing with things that just kids shouldn't have to do. And from there, it's grown slowly. I guess slowly. This is its 10-year anniversary. So 10-year shirts for Extra Life. And they've done $40 million in donations for Children's Miracle Network hospitals. It has, since it is more of a community-driven, every year has been bigger and bigger and bigger. Last year, I believe it was over $8 million as a community was raised. Goal goes up all the time. So we have, like I said, LMG has a group, and I believe there right now currently we as a team have raised $575 for our respective charities. I for the last 6 years done all my donations for Seattle Children's Hospital. Seattle Children's took care of my niece my cousin, whenever she was fighting leukemia. And I'm 38, 20 years ago probably. So she passed when she was 9. And they took care of my aunt and uncle, took care of my cousin, took care of Susie. And that's mine. So I heard about this in 2012, listening through Achievement Hounds. Poop, you probably remember those guys. And it was something that was like, okay, that's cool. Let me look into it. And it passed over in 2012. So I decided I wanted to make it one of my goals in 2013 was to jump into this charity style thing. And what it is a 24-hour stream that's held in November. Normally it's a daylight savings time, so they try to throw in that extra hour, so you can go for 25. But think of it as like a jump or a book-a-thon or laps or anything like that. People will donate for the amount of time that you're out streaming. That's the easiest way to explain it to somebody who hasn't seen one of these before. And it's a great opportunity to raise awareness for what Children's Miracle Network hospitals do. It's a great opportunity to game with your buds and try some different things and push yourself to see what you can do for 24 hours. It's crazy. You think about it, that's a long time, but it's really not once you finally get into a game. I mean, I'm going to play Red Dead. I could probably drop 24 hours on Red Dead
easily
and not even know. And see the sun come up, see the sun go down, and come up again. But that's what it is. So we have, I just had a handful of guys doing it. I believe Adam's going to participate again this year. This is his second year. Poop, I think we were able to wrangle you in and have you play. I know Harvey, Sectator, I know you're going to get in and play some with us. I believe Slip is. Let's see. I can actually tell you guys who are on the team currently. So, let's see. Jacob Oliver. Man, this gives out real names. I'll have to figure out what his tag is. But
college student. Actually, Salty Chip now.
Is it Salty Chip? Okay, excellent. Chip. So, lots of different things you can do. I know I have, if you guys are familiar with Young Khan, he does lots of emotes for the Twitch community. Has given me the opportunity to have one of my raffles doing an affiliate emote as a drawing. Mr. Adam has supplied me with some games, so I have a couple game offers. J-Man Blue of our community is up for a raffle on doing an emote as well. So last year I'll be the first to tell you this year in 2018 has been a lot of real world stuff. So I have not tried to promote it as much as possible. Last year I went super crazy with the beard, and you can find it all on Facebook. I shaved right down the middle, all of this. Then all of this got braided, and it was a little bit longer. It was probably down to about here. All this got braided during Christmas Eve, and I finally went babyface first week of January. And again, there are pictures on Facebook. I do not look good. I was not happy. I was supposed to keep it clean shaven for 3 months, and I made it 7 days. So, but hey, I look better like this, and the wife likes it better. So, but different things that people have been able to use. There's lots of companies have dived into it. Twitch is involved, PlayStation's involved. Rooster Teeth is very big in it. Games is in it. So, lots of different companies have jumped in within the last couple of years. I think it's is it Tryon or one of the MMO companies has done something. So as it comes about, as you're getting closer to the date, there's lots of little giveaways that they do for the guys competing. But really, like as of right now, just some quick facts, and then I'll jump through. It started in 2008. They started working for Children's Miracle Network in 2010. They raised their first $1 million in 2011. And what am I looking at? My time? I got you. Twitch started jumping in on 2012. There were over 100,000 people involved in 2014. And then in 2017, last year, they've raised over 40 million. So again, that's my 10 cents of a little roundabout. If you have any questions, please hit me up in Discord on LM Gamers. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on Facebook, Xbox, PC. I don't care. I'm here to answer questions for you. Don't be scared of 24 hours. It's not, no one's putting you in shackles and saying you have to stream for 24 hours if you sign up.
It sounds like it's pretty hard to do it for 24 hours. I mean, I've done it myself, and it wasn't the easiest thing. It's
you have to be prepared for it. So there's some things that you can do to prepare yourself for it mentally and physically.
Yeah,
So, but again,
I know who I'd ask about that. I mean,
yes,
we have
I
a guy.
think that person has some questions maybe for me. So, but again, if anybody's got anything, hit me up. I will be more than happy to talk about it. As you can tell, I love this. I love this time of year. I love what these hospitals do for kids. I am blessed with very healthy children, and I don't want to have to see anybody go through this. But if I can game and raise money for them, then that's what I'll do.
Excellent.
Hashtag for the kids.
We'll be there with you.
That's right. Hashtag for the kids.
We'll be right there with you.
Hey, Chode, I just wanted to jump in a
What's
little
up?
bit since we have you here. I wanted to my little spiel on this little nugget of the internet that we have here is to kind of focus on streaming and anything associated with that. You are by far the veteran. You said you've done this 6 times?
This will be
24 hours
6. Yep. This will be year 6.
Adam, how many times? Just one for you?
It's just my second year. So yeah, so just that one time last year.
Okay. I think the longest I've ever streamed was like 5 hours, and I remember being exhausted. So I'm a little apprehensive. I'm excited, but I'm a little nervous. So I did a lot of research about what it takes to go into 24-hour streaming, and please jump in with any information you want to add here, Chode.
Sure.
But I also wanted to focus on charity because I think charity is a very important thing. It's also something you have to be very careful with. If you decide to cheerlead for something, you should know what you're doing. And if you're going to do charities on stream, I highly recommend that you do a little bit of research into your streaming. There's a couple of sites that you can go to. charitynavigator.org and guidestar.org are really good search engines, basically surrounding just charities. And they give detailed information surrounding their tax identification and legality issues there. Most of the time, you want to do something that is supported by a nonprofit, or I think it's a 503c(b) or whatever, 501(c)(3). And because those are usually more regulated and governed by federal regulations, as well as they tend to be more transparent. So make sure you do that, and also make sure you do something that you believe in. I've seen some streamers do some charity events where they don't know anything about what they're doing. They're just doing it because they want to do a charity thing. Like for you, Chode, this is a little bit more personal because you had someone that was afflicted with a disease that was treated by one of these hospitals, and I think that's super important that you actually understand and are into what you do. I'll make my little section here real quick. 24-hour streaming. The research I've done is basically it came down to what I call the 3 Ps. Plan. So you want to make sure you get your schedule, your games. A lot of people said don't play just 2 or 3 games. You want to expand into a bunch of different games, because 2 or 3 games, although you just said Red Dead Redemption 2 for 24 hours, I would probably gouge my own eyes out if I had to play one game for 24 straight hours. I don't know. I mean, know about you guys. I know, King, you're a big fan of Destiny, but I don't know, man.
Without a doubt, 24 hours, let's do it. 1v1 viewers for
24 hours straight, just 1v1s.
Yep.
Yikes. If you want to do, one of the things I like about what we're doing, I actually generated a schedule, and I kind of want to see if we can get that out to the public so our LMG brethren can see it, but involve others. That'll help keep you awake. That'll help keep the longevity of your stream going. And then plan out your goals and incentives, and then any contingencies. One of the things that I talked to you, Cho, the other day was that's super impactful is you said that something always goes wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Something always breaks, something always fails, and I think that's super important.
And
so
the thing about it, if it fails, hey, guess what? It's fine. Don't become super paranoid with trying to figure out what's going on. So I was telling Poop, and Adam knows this. Last year I had a PC issue where my computer would cache so much memory that it would have to turn off to, in essence, just throw away everything. So any PUBG games, we played, man, it was probably 4 or 5 hours of PUBG, and I got dumped from stream probably once an hour. And it was a pain in the ass. But you would just restart, go about doing it again. I mean, it works now, which is really nice. I was able to figure it out on what the problem was, but stuff happens. I mean, if you're going from console to console, I've seen a lot of the guys who are going to do PC setup, Xbox, Switch, those types of things. There may be an audio issue. There may be something on video that's not working correctly. Don't panic. Just play. I mean, figure out what needs to be done on it. If you have to, shelve that and go back to something that you know that's working, streaming-wise. And again, we're taking it a step further because we're putting our 24 hours online. I mean, we've had guys that we've done this through work that play board games. We had 25 people in a cafeteria. That was Extra Life to us.
Sure.
So, I mean, I put a webcam in the top corner so everybody could just, if they wanted to, come see what we were doing. We had ping pong tournament. We had pool tournament. We had darts. We had guys playing video games. We had guys playing board games, D&D stuff. It's just games. That's the biggest thing of it. But like I said, we go that extra step because we put ourselves out there, streamers already, and that's the medium we want to use.
Sure.
Is video games. So
sure. Well, and you actually tied nicely into the next thing. I'm a big proponent of luck favors the prepared. So the second P is prep, and you touched briefly on it. Is make sure you got your stuff downloaded and installed. Check levels prior, because I mean, if you have a better idea of what's going on going into it, you probably have a better chance of fixing any potential issues that arise. A lot of things that I read said smart food and snack choices. Avoid sugars and go for high carb snacks, stuff that'll kind of help keep energy in you.
Water.
May not, and
Doritos
then
and Mountain Dew or no?
Yeah, no.
I mean, no, that would absolutely kill you.
Also,
And then
let me add,
obviously,
don't drink until the last 2 hours.
yeah.
yes,
Don't
was
start.
actually-
Don't start at the beginning.
Did you have that down?
that was literally something I read several times, and it wasn't necessarily just alcoholic drinks, but it was like soda drinks, sugary drinks, because
Okay.
you'll crash,
Yeah.
2 hours after you consume those.
Yeah.
But then the number one thing is just drink lots of water. You're going to be talking a lot. You're going to, you don't realize how much water you go through. Even if you're just sitting there playing games, you have to keep yourself hydrated. That's super important.
You can use the hydrate bot.
Yes.
you
That's
seen that?
right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
use
have.
the hydrate bot.
It's time to drink some water.
Yep.
You've been sitting for so long, drink so many milliliters. Yeah. I've
Yep.
seen that. This is something that I've really had to consider, and I don't know about you guys, and I know we're kind of getting low on time, but I'm curious as to why you guys chose the times that you're streaming, and how is that going to affect your day-to-day family life, etc. Like personally, I chose midnight to midnight, so I'm going to start midnight the 3rd and stream till midnight the 4th. And what that does is that basically just chews up one daylight day with my family, so then I can go to bed at a reasonable time and hopefully get up and be a functioning human on Sunday.
Well, I've spoken this
That's kind of
before.
my thought.
I've spoken this before to you in our own little chat that I think that is probably the best option. It limits the time that you're away from your family. It also gives you a decent night of sleep, from midnight on to actually be available and present for them on Sunday.
Sure.
For me, I'm
I am
working
a cra-
Friday 12 hours, so I'll be up at 6 a.m. That means staying up for almost 24, or more than
Absolutely.
or not 24.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, staying for almost 48. So,
Yep.
I can't make that happen. There's no way.
That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
I'm a crazy person. So the first 2 years I did this, I traveled to Spokane, Washington, and I was the MC of the event. So I would get there a couple days, do work, crash Friday night, get to the site early in the morning by about 6 a.m. to make sure, and this was after getting with IT to make sure we had all TVs, all consoles, all types of internet set up. 2 hours before, show up, game, do that kind of stuff. Play for 24 hours, pack my shit up, and head to the airport. Fly home.
Jeez.
Try to get a couple hours of sleep on the flight home. Make it through the day, and then crash Sunday night. So I did that for 2 years.
Crazy talk.
That's rough.
Then
Dude.
the next 2 years, I did it at our site here in Houston, which was a hell of a lot easier just because of the flights. Last year was at home, which was super cool because you can wake right up. You can go get your coffee. You can come into your office. You're ready to go.
So was that your first time at home? That was your first year?
That was my first year at home.
Wow.
Yes. This year I will do it at home as well, based on the guys in Spokane wanted me to come back up there, but I actually have a flight to Miami on Sunday at 2 p.m. So I'm going to go from 8 to 8, hang out with the kids for a little while, sleep for maybe 2 or 3 hours, get up, head to the airport, head to Miami to work for the next week. So yeah, this year's going to be pretty rough too, but hey, that's
It's for a good cause.
what we do. It's for a good cause.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and then the last thing I have for the third P is just play. Have fun. Don't stress. Things don't always go to plan. And then take frequent breaks for drinks and stretching and walking and everything like that. And Chode, you had a really good, I want you to talk about the commercials here. This was a great idea. Go ahead.
There is, and I'll put it in chat. The website has gotten much better over the last 6 years, and they have
with regards to support
to stream and stuff like that. So there is every year there is a Discord for Extra Life. You can just search for it. It's open. It's huge. So I know a couple of you guys have seen it or been on it. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it gets crazy as it gets to game day. But I went through last year and created, in essence, Twitch commercials. And if I needed to go to the bathroom, or if I needed to go, hey, figure out why are the kids yelling in the next room? The wife needs me to go do something. And it would be, in essence, a 3 to 5 minute vid doc of a person's story and what happened with that family, that kid, what hospital they were at, the things that they went through, and how a Children's Miracle Network hospital supported them and got them through these hard times. Ending in good things and sometimes ending in bad things, but still finding out how the hospitals, what they're there for, what these donations.
Now you put that as a scene in OBS, so you just hit that.
Straight scene in OBS.
Okay, smart idea. I think I'll do that as
well.
And
it's just, I mean, it can be commercial 1, commercial 2, commercial 3, just how we do an intro to the podcast.
The commercials are already there, so you can get them.
They're already there. You just got to go. I put the link. It's to resources. From there, they take you to, I think it's like a Google Drive page, and it has all the licensed stuff. So your licensed images, your Twitter images, your Facebook images, Twitch stuff, videos, documentaries, pamphlets, lots of different things that you would want to use for talking to the boss at work for donation-wise stuff. I think Harvey used some stuff last year for his, and then using streaming assets, those types of things. And then what's nice on the Discord, lots of people will put up their assets, and it's a very cool community. All you got to do is ask, hey, can I take this and maybe manipulate it a little bit to fit my overview on my stream setup, stuff like that. And it's very, very, very cool community, because at the end, I mean, it's all about trying to raise awareness and raise funding for these style of hospitals.
And just on a selfish note, because that's what I do sometimes, what are you getting out of this as far as like I know I got a silver medal last year. I see you have a nice, beautiful shirt on that has a pin on it right here.
I got medals like no other every year.
Got the gold. Wow.
I got the gold. So I will tout and toot my own horn.
That noise makes for a lovely podcast. Let's do that again.
Right. I'll toot my horn and give you guys the gold. This is year 6. In 5 years, I have had the greatness of having an awesome family, an awesome community, awesome friends. I've raised over $9,000 personally for Seattle Children's.
It's very impressive.
Every year, I have a conversation with, I believe it's Miss Betsy, who takes care of the charitable donations from Seattle. She's pretty cool with it. It's somebody from Texas who is providing donations to a hospital, I mean, halfway across the country. I was in Seattle a couple weeks ago. We were able to get our schedules together, but we wanted to get that. At some point, I'm going to get in there, and it's been 20 years since I've been in that hospital. I want to go in there, and I want to see, and they do tours. They do things that back to the community. And this is not just Seattle Children's. This is Texas Children's. This is going to be any type of hospital that's doing stuff like this, because they have to, I mean, that's part of their human resource and customer relations, is showing what these hospitals do. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you can't donate, don't worry about that. It's raising awareness. If there's hospitals around you that you feel like, I mean, okay, you want to do volunteer service and those types of things, call them up. They will utilize you. I mean, they will find ways for you to take those couple hours to maybe just hang out and play games with kids, or do some stuff like that that gives mom and dad a break to go get some coffee and not have to think about what's going on, that kind of stuff. So,
Sure.
I mean, it's not always about the almighty dollar. It helps, but you can do a lot of different things.
Well, now I feel terrible.
Absolutely.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome, man. That's what I'm here. That's what I'm here for.
I just want to see the medals one time.
That's right.
Yeah. So I'm going to do that. That's for $1,000 every year. So I'm way behind schedule, but we'll figure it out. I'll get there again.
Joe, thank you for coming tonight. I appreciate you stopping by.
Oh, my pleasure, guys. Thank you.
To the public out there and all the viewers, I'm sure you remember the Flamin' Chode there is the prior host to the LMG Live podcast, and they did a fantastic job of it.
I had a really crappy day at work, and this is what I've been looking for. So thank you,
Excellent,
guys.
man. Yeah, I'm so glad you're here, man. Hey, and come back. We got room for you.
Yes, sir.
Anytime, man. Anytime. All right, Joe. Since you are the man of the hour, man of the day, tell us where we can find you.
All righty. You can find me on Twitch at the Flamin' Chode. Take off that G. So it's the Flamin' Chode. You can find me on Xbox at the Flamin' C because Microsoft and Phil Spencer do not like Chode. So
you don't know that.
You can. Well, somebody really does.
So make
2018,
assumptions.
man.
I don't know. Somebody there in the ambassador program or something. Maybe I dipped on somebody too much. They decided to report me. So the Flamin' C on Xbox, PC, Steam. Let's see, Destiny, it's the Flamin' C. So for Black Ops or for Destiny, you can find me there. Twitter, LMG, the Flamin' C. So just look for the Flamin' Chode or the Flamin' C and you'll find me. Just this little emblem right here, you'll find me.
All right, very good. Poop Shizzle, where can we find you?
You can pretty much find me on any gaming platform under the name Poop Shizzle. You can either look for that logo or my newer one, which hopefully this doesn't blow up everything, is that.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, I'm on Steam, like I said, as well for PC. And if you want to reach out to me on Twitter, same thing at Poop Shizzle and twitch.tv/Poop Shizzle.
Very good, very good. King Dawes, how about yourself?
So I say this every week, but I'm still waiting for someone to step up for a 1v1. It's LMG Space King. I'm waiting in Destiny. No one seems to want to come get some.
I'm going to get you tonight, bitch. You're mine
I'm
tonight.
looking forward to it.
Right after this podcast, I'm taking you down.
On PC or on Xbox?
He doesn't have a
This
PC.
is Xbox.
Shit.
Frames ruin games, boys.
All right. Where else can we find you? Getting that? Pretty much it. Just the Xbox. That's what you got. You're not on the Twitter. You're not on the Facebooks. None of that stuff. King Dawes.
I don't do that shit. Nope. Find me on Xbox.
I don't do that shit.
I want that on a shirt, King.
I mean, I don't do that shit.
We don't play that.
I'm one of the only ones here in this podcast that are not worldwide known. Like I said, you can find me on the Destiny battlefields.
Very good. Very good. Sectator, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You can see me on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, anything Sectator Gaming. Anything with this logo in the bottom left corner is me. So I'm not going to issue any challenges like our brave king here, but yeah, I like to play battle royale games.
Brave is a strong
if they
word.
notice.
You did some artwork, some overlay stuff, right? You want to promo that real quick?
Yep.
Yeah, so I've been doing some freelance graphics lately. So got a couple gigs lined up for some logo design, graphic design, art packages, all that fun stuff. So
Is there a good way for people to find you that want that sort of thing?
I mean, honestly, the best thing to do is follow me on Twitter, twitter.com/Sectator Gaming. I tweet probably 35 times a day, so that is where I'm the most active. So I tweet out pictures and samples of what I'm doing and all that all through there.
You just did a sample earlier today, didn't you? Or
Yeah.
was it yesterday that you showed one? Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Looking good, man. I like it a lot.
Thank you. Yeah.
Everyone look forward to Solid Scoops. Looking to get some of those news stories out from our own Solid Scorpion Z. Putting the good news up in your ear. As far as LMG goes, we are the League of Mature Gamers. You can find us at lmgamers.net. That's 18 plus community there of adults. No little kids, nobody cussing you out, nobody talking about your mama. That's on PC and handheld, of course. There's a very nice new website there in LMG that is very mobile friendly. So check it out. There's a Discord server as well. You can find the Twitter L_M_gamers. You can find it League of Mature Gamers on YouTube, League of Mature Gamers on Facebook, and of course that you're watching right here, LMGamers_TV. Well, that's a wrap for LMG Live this week, fellas. Join us next Wednesday, October 31st. That's Halloween for a special event. We're going to go back in time to the scariest games that we all know and some of the scariest ones that have ever been made and sort of run that around. So in the Halloween themes we're doing this month, till we get to that point, remember that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Good night, everyone.